Good morning, Vietnam. Just kidding. We all want another video of talk show, right? So this is talk show part 2. Okay, so Texas woman convicted of killing 21-year-old mother to be and cutting baby from her womb. Oh my god. Okay, so Taylor Rainey Parker has been convicted of the October 2020 murder of Regan Michelle Simmons Hancock in Texas and the kidnapping of her daughter, who later died. The 29-year-old was found to have beaten the young expectant mother in the heat of at least 5 times before cutting her abdomen hip to hip to remove her baby. The guilty verdict came after 3 weeks of testimony at Bowie County in northeast Texas, where Parker's attorneys moved to dismiss the kidnapping charge in a bid to have a capital murder charge lowered to murder. They argued that the baby was never alive and therefore could not be abducted. But prosecutors said several medical professionals testified that she had a heartbeat when she was born. We have methodically laid out what Parker did, why she did it, all the moving parts, and all the collateral damage, said prosecutor Kelly Cripps. The court heard how Parker faked being pregnant in the lead up to the killing, with the assistant district attorney Lauren Richards describing her as a liar and a manipulator. She can't leave her alive. It was no quick death. She just keep cutting her. I guess Regan would not die fast enough for Taylor to get out there and get on with her plans. Parker's sentencing, knowing in the U.S. as the punishment phase, is set to begin on 12 October. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, but jurors may opt for a sentence of life in prison without parole. 2 men charged over alleged assault of Prince Andrew Hegler. The action comes after a 22-year-old man who has already been charged with breach of the peace shot at the Duke of York on the Royal Mile on 12 September. The 2 men, both aged 34, are accused of dragging the heckler to the ground. The incident happened while King Charles led senior members of the royal family to St. Giles Cathedral, following behind a hearse carrying the late monarch. A police Scotland spokesperson said 2 men, both at age 34, have been arrested and charged in connection with assault, following an incident on the Royal Mile around 2:50 p.m. on Monday. The Queen died at her Balmoral estate on Thursday, 8 September. Her body was returned to London ahead of lying in state at Westminster, where more than 250,000 members of the public paid their respects, many queuing for hours through the night. Britain's longest serving monarch was laid to rest on 19 September at Windsor Castle following a state funeral. Patricia Agnes teen's skeletal remains identified through relatives' DNA after she went missing in 1975. the skeletal remains of a teenage girl who went missing in the U.S. state of Virginia nearly 50 years ago have been identified thanks to a DNA breakthrough. Patricia Agnes, also known as Chobe, was last seen in the city of Fairfax on 8 February 1975. She was 17 at that time. On 21st September 2001, a woman's remains were found by the construction crew behind an apartment complex and near a drainage ditch along with some clothing. Fairfax County Police say the remains have now been identified as those of Miss Gildaway. Following the discovery 21 years ago, an initial review found she died from a gunshot wound to the head. The report also indicated the remains were likely that of an African American female in her late teens to early 20s. However, cold case detectives have been working on this year with Outram, which does DNA testing and forensic grade sequencing, and established the remains belong to a white female. When I gave them my DNA, they sent it to the lab while they were sitting here in my living room, and they had a 100% DNA match within 15 minutes, she said. Mr. Duberly said Mr. Gildaway was dating an older man at the time who loaned her a wild Cadillac Eldorado with red interior that she was driving the last time Miss Duberly saw her. It was also the day Mr. Duberly noticed bruises on her half-sister. Bruises on her upper arms, her shoulders, and the back of her legs, she told NBC News. I said, "Well, why are you so black and blue?" She said, "I fall a lot." I said, "No, you don't." Police are keen to talk to her boyfriend, but they don't know his name, only that he was in his 30s at the time of Miss Gildaway's death and worked at a now-closed upholstery store near Church Street and Lawyer Road in the town of Vienna, Virginia.